in Texas. Do you know why? Let me finish my point. All these Hindus in Texas, well-off Hindus, they supported Trump and MAGA. And guess what? They're trying to build a temple in Houston, and people are protesting outside, saying, take this demonic religion outside. I'm no fan of Vivek Ramaswamy, right? I've interviewed him. We had a great clash, but I do admire him as a smart guy. He succeeded in life. He's super patriotic. He's very eloquent. He's running for governor of Ohio. Did you see the clip the other day? Guy stands up in the crowd. Groiper guy stands up, says, Hinduism is a pagan, demonic religion. Why should we have you lead us? This is what the Republican Party, for you to say they're not a racist party, when I'm seeing what they're doing to Vivek Ramaswamy, forget Muslims, what they're doing to Hindus in Texas, what they're doing to Hindus in Ohio. This is a white supremacist party. Yes.
White supremacist.
What's your definition of racism? Is nobody racist?
No one. I think.
What's your definition of racist, Patrick?
May I finish?
Please.
You're raising your voice. Why are you screaming? I'm sitting right across from you, bro. Like, let's act American, not Middle Eastern.
You shouted earlier. But
let's act American, not Middle Eastern? Where's Mehdi from? Mehdi Hasan? Should I know where this name is? Is this a fucking... I don't know what the fuck this is from. Where is his country of origin? India? India doesn't even fit into the greater Middle East, right?
But yes, the Middle East.
Fair enough. Okay. So to me, I think a part of it is, I think everybody has a little bit of bigotry in them, okay? Everybody. And I know it's going to sound like, what are you talking about? I think everybody is a little bit against some community. By the way, it could be as simple...
Dude, I hate these. Why do I even listen to this?
Liz, you're a Red Sox fan, I'm a Yankees fan, I can't stand you. There's no way we can coexist.
Agreed.
It could be you're from Boston, I'm from New York.
Tribalism. People are tribal.
By the way, that's natural.
Agreed.
That's not like you were a kid, you were part of a gang, you're part of another gang. Hey, we're gonna
but attacking a religious minority is not.
So that's that part. The other side is calling. Like if there's one thing, like I brought the what do you call it? Westmore that we're speaking to, and I'm like, you realize, like, for Democrats, why did they lose so much of their support during this period? Let me finish, and you can argue and say we didn't. I think some of the positions they took in COVID was out of control. I think some of the positions they took with LGBTQ, to me, was out of control. Calling everybody racist, a little too much. Calling everybody a bigot, a little too much. Calling and making everybody feel like I'm a bad person.
You need to read the book, my friend. These are all straw man. Calling everybody a racist. I was very specific. I said Randy Fine's a racist. I said Donald Trump's a racist. I said the Republican Party's indulged racism and white supremacy. I can stand by those with the receipts.
Republican Party that racist.
If a party institutionally allows for racists to take power and do racist policies, what should I call it?
Oh my God.
Okay, let me give you one. Can I give you an example?
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, when you came to America, you came in 1990?
Yep.
In 1990, I checked before I came here. George Bush Sr. was president.
Yes.
And he allowed in 122,000 refugees, of which 4% were from the Middle East. So you and your family, how many came from your family, if you don't mind me asking?
Me, my mom, my dad, my sister, four.
So four of you were
my dad came in 84 because my parents got a divorce, and then he came back in 1990 separately.
Okay, so three of you came on that
we did, yes. We went to Germany. From Germany, we came.
I read it, sorry. You came in 1990, so you're part of the lucky 5,000 people.
Whoa! Came from Germany? You mean they didn't stop at the first country? Well, wait, I'm sorry. Did you say they were refugees or just immigrated? I didn't catch that, actually, sorry.
The Middle East.
I feel like I'm the luckiest man alive living in America.
Okay, and that was George Bush Sr. I'm not a man I'm a fan of, but he did that.
Sure.
He understood the response, as did Reagan.
Yep.
You know, Donald Trump since October has allowed in 6,069 refugees, not 122,000, only 6,069. And do you know that 6,066, 99.9?
Refugees? Okay. What, don't these guys complain all the time that you can't be a refugee that goes from country to country? You have to stop at the very first country you're in and never move out of it.
Send them from white South Africa. Only 3 are Afghan.
Dude,
that's the numbers.
Are you serious?
That's a fact.
Are you serious?
You're serious?
Pull it up, Rob. 6,000 refugees. All of them are white South Africans fleeing from an imaginary genocide.
The previous guy brought more people than 4 presidents combined.
Hold on, he brought in 125,000.
He's trying to say, guys, time out. Let's get jobs for our people.
No, we're talking about refugees. Refugees are different. It's not about jobs. Refugees, your international obligation.
Like you're talking H-1B, green card.
Refugees, vetted by, the vetted program.
Sure.
Where you're vetted abroad. You check you're not a terrorist, all of that stuff.
That's
what happened to you?
Yes.
Biden did it too. He allowed 125,000 people. He upped the cap. Trump dropped the cap with Stephen Miller to 7,500.
Okay.
And since October, he allowed in 6,069, according to the Washington Post.
I want to know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
He allowed in only 3 Afghans and 6,066 white people from South Africa. There are 2 things I would say about that. Number one, that's racist. You let in 99.9% of your refugees are white people who are not refugees, and you don't allow people from Iran, Iraq, Syria. And the second point is, Donald Trump wouldn't have allowed you into this country, and yet you sit and support. You voted for him 3 times. Donald Trump would not have allowed little Patrick Bet-David into this country. How do you feel about that?
You're so funny.
A genuine question.
You are so funny.
It's a genuine question.
He wouldn't have let little Patrick Bet-David.
No Iranians were allowed in this year. So how would you have gotten?
You know what would have happened? We would have waited 1 more year, 2 more years
for a Democrat to come and let you in.
Bush Sr. let us in. He was a Republican.
Don't act like for a better Republican.
No, but that's
not racist.
That's not the point. The part
that is the point. He did not allow in Iranians,
issues.
Iraqi.
Mehdi, is it fair to say issues are fluid? Things change. Meaning,
no, refugees are an obligation that America has always stuck to until Donald Trump.
What is an issue in 2020? Maybe different than what's a top 3 issue in 2016 and 2012 and 2000.
Plenty.
Right. Guess what? What did his base want?
Who cares what his base wants?
That's who we voted for. That's
a different argument. You're moving. Why are you talking about? Is he racist? I'm giving my evidence. He stopped all refugees from coming in from what do you call them? Shithole countries. Itself a racist phrase. And then he allowed in white people.
Would you disagree with some of these places are shithole countries?
And then you defend it. Just own it and say, fine, he is a little bit racist, but those people deserve to be racist against.
Do you call entire countries shithole?
You don't think some places are
generalizing about entire places?
You think some places are not shithole?
What's your definition of racism, Patrick? Because you don't seem to think anything's racist. What do you define as racist? If you say there's no such thing as racism, fine, but be consistent.
No, I don't know if
nobody's a racist.
No, I don't know if I think it's a weak argument. I think it's a weak position to say, hey, that guy doesn't like me and my race and where I'm
But
from.
what is your definition of racism? If you don't have one,
That guy doesn't like me and my race. Wait,
Weak position to say, hey, that guy doesn't like me and my race and where I'm
but
from.
what is your definition of racism?
that guy doesn't like me and my race and where I'm from is a weak definition of racism? I don't know.
If you don't have one, say so.
To be honest with you, if you want this,
I think if you call an entire country, entire people shit,
think
garbage, low
every-
IQ, that's racist.
Mehdi,
That's
I think
Somalis.
every single
Democrat.
person has an element of racism
Oh
in there.
my
That's a
God.
different
From 1% to 99%.
You're moving the goalpost.
But when you're asking racism, it's like not liking an ethnicity, not liking a community.
Yeah, not liking
Okay,
an
fair.
entire
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, if he says we're going to only have white people in and not shithole country people, and that's racist. Yes, I think that's racist. That's not racist. I don't know what is. 99.9% of refugees are white South Africans. Come on.
Do you want to? Okay, Rob, can you do me a favor?
He calls
Can you-
all
can you do
Somalis
me a
low
favor? Can you
IQ and
a
garbage.
Do me a
Like,
favor.
that's
Can you ask Claude, how many black friends does Donald Trump have? Let's settle this once and for all.
Stuff that you're saying right now.
It's all true.
Can you?
How do you engage with people like that and people who listen to this? I'm lost. Really, Mehdi Hasan is doing the perfect job. Him and peers, the British people, or I guess me if I'm being a huge dick or whatever, I'm trying to be an asshole. It's just this. You just have to scream at them for however long you've got the endurance to do it. 2.5 hours, I guess. You just scream at them. This guy is a bad faith actor. This is a foreign operative come to this country to scam Americans, which he did, steal money from Americans, which he has, promote other scammers, which he has, and then to do a podcast where the whole purpose of this podcast, by the way, is to funnel people to their scam small business meeting things or whatever, where they sell tickets for fucking whatever, 5,000 each or whatever, and then they scam those people there. This guy is just a scammer. That's it. So, he's not here to engage in good faith on anything that's being said. He's just here to further whatever bullshit narrative to scam people, because if you were going to cater to an audience that you wanted to scam, right-wingers are the best people because they're fucking retards and they believe every fucking conspiracy under the sun.
Pull up Biden's administration. Who was the guy that was the transgender that we're supposed
That's what
to
you're
lead?
going to? When I quote the president making racist remarks, you got no comeback?
Wait a minute. What's the argument of DEI with you that massively failed? Are you supportive of DEI?
I don't know what's your definition.
Are you
of DEI?
supportive of DEI?
I don't play. This is not right-wing bingo.
No.
Your words mean nothing to me. I'm from outside the right-wing media chamber.
I talk to
DEI is
guys.
meaningless.
Guy, I talk.
DEI, do you support war? Do you support explosions? Do you support explosions?
to guys on the left wing side. Like, who do you think I talk? You think I just talk to right wing people?
No, but the way you say DEI and the transgender guy from Biden and Ilhan Omar, this is like right wing bingo.
Is this a good pick?
Yeah, Rachel Levine, I interviewed her on my show.
Was he phenomenal at what he did?
I'm sure she was very good at her job.
So you think
what's that got to do with Trump being racist towards Somalis?
You think
Patrick, you need to read the book.
Wait a minute.
Because in the book I deal with people like you.
This is what you do for a living. The difference with
you are
me is
deflecting.
This is not
Donald
deflecting.
Trump says all Somalis are garbage, low IQ people.
Is
that a racist statement?
Allow this to come to you.
Rachel Levine.
Do you think?
I'm gonna answer your question.
Do you think this person was hired because they were the best person for a job or because he was playing politics?
Well, Rob,
that's a form of racism.
Rob, I'm going to read the second paragraph. Levine is a professor of pediatrics and psychiatry at Penn State College of Medicine. Previously served as a Pennsylvania physician general. So I think Rachel Levine is more qualified to work in the health department than
who's that right now?
Right.
Robert fucking Kennedy Jr.
Yes. I'm sorry. Don't get mad because this is all a fucking show. What a stupid fucking.
Who has zero qualifications. You think RFK was hired for his medical?
No answer, by the way. There won't be a single answer to any fucking question, by the way.
You think?
No, Patrick. Do you think?
You think a mentally ill trans person? He's trying so hard to remember he the entire time too, because he gets hard. He gets off on it every fucking time.
RFK Jr. was hired for his medical qualifications. What did he have?
By the way, do you know how many people previous to him were doctors?
Do you know was RFK hired?
Real quick. Who has the story from PVD? Anybody have this streamable where this guy made up an encounter with like a Destiny fan at his kid's ball game? Anybody remember what I'm talking about? Oh my fucking god, this guy's such a pathetic fucking loser.
For his medical credentials, yes or no?
RFK was hired because he was making the
Rachel Levine is
2-hour video of me reacting. No, Jesus Christ.
The professor of pediatrics.
No, wait a minute, but you're saying RFK is not qualified for his job?
Not to be health secretary, no.
By a mile,
conspiracy theorist who doesn't even understand
you take a transgendered. By the way, do you know how many people previous to him were doctors?
Do you know was RFK hired for his medical credentials? Yes or no?
RFK was hired because he was making the
Rachel Levine is a professor of pediatrics.
No, wait a minute, but you're saying RFK is not qualified for his job?
Not to be health secretary, no.
How the fuck is he qualified? God, dude, the amount of just crazy retarded shit people will say.
It's like, hey, what about if we do this project? How much money would it cost? And this man is gradually coming close. I worked on Yellowstone. So we're having this conversation together. It's like, hey, what about if we do this project? How much money would it cost? And this man is gradually coming closer to me and closer to me. And he says, so can I tell you something? Yes, sir. So I think you were unfair to Destiny. And I think Destiny is he would have really called that Andrew Tate, the man that you defend, who did human trafficking, and he did this. Oh my God, I'm really not in the mood. I'm watching my son play. I'm trying to get this movie conversation here, and you're coming to my face like this. So let me ask you a question. Do you have a son? I do. You have a son? I do. Would you rather have your son follow the footsteps of a Destiny or follow the footsteps of an Andrew Tate? Oh, 100% Destiny. Really? Yes. So you're okay with your son being okay with his wife while they're married, sleeping around with another man. You're okay with that. I'm okay with that. Well, I'm not, bro. I said the conversation ends right here.
Yeah.
What else do you want to have a conversation with?
You know, what I'm noticing is you are so exceptionally unafraid.
The funny thing is, I would just want to hear him say it, right? Oh, okay. You don't want your son to follow in the footsteps of a Destiny. You want to be an Andrew Tate. Who would you rather your daughter bring home? Destiny, a guy who might be, I guess, a weird whatever cuck or whatever, or Andrew Tate, who's going to be fucking prostituting her out on fucking OnlyCams with his 27 other girlfriends the next day. Like, what? It's such a stupid fucking question. I don't see these guys lining up their children to feed them into the fucking infinite rape machine that exists in these alpha red pill manosphere spaces. Like, Jesus Christ, give me a break. But that story, come on, this is an invented story. Really? And then what, everyone around you clapped?
I am mild.
Conspiracy theorist who doesn't even understand
You take a transgender to be this job, then
You think transgender people don't have intelligence?
No, I
didn't. A new attack on
no, see what you're doing now?
You see what you're doing now?
You're playing. See the difference between you and I. No, I didn't go to Oxford and do debate 24/7
I gave
to
you
see this as my
hard
life.
evidence of Trump's racism, and you said, Rob, pull up transgender woman. That's what happened. Everyone watched you do it.
But
I said Trump allowed in 99% white people.
The point is, the previous guy picked people because of color. If there is any party that's racist, was the previous guy, because they kept saying black this,
I'm not even
black
asking
that,
about that.
black this many females, this many transgender.
Trump did the same.
The left is the party of the racists.
Even if I concede that, it's irrelevant to my point that Donald Trump has blocked refugees like yourself. Patrick Bet-David would not have been allowed into America under Donald Trump.
I
would have found a way to get an illegal immigrant? Is that what he means?
Illegally. You're pro-illegal immigration.
Oh,
this is so
that's right.
Interesting.
I would have made it here.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
You're going to clip Ilhan Omar, clip that. Patrick Bet-David said if he wasn't allowed illegally, he would come in illegally.
The difference between you and I, this doesn't bother me. I understand the game we're playing. I understand the conversation.
I'm not here for
that is probably true. This probably does bother Mehdi more than it does PVD, but that's because Mehdi gives a shit. And this guy doesn't give a fuck because this is all just a fucking game to him and a way to scam people and make money at the end of the day. So he is probably correct there, but not for a noble reason.
Game. I just said to you earlier, this stuff has real world consequences.
Oh, this stuff has real world consequences.
Three Muslims just got killed in a mosque in San Diego because Republican Party racist rhetoric. And do you know what? Republican congressmen couldn't even condemn it. I assume you condemn what happened in San Diego.
We 100% condemned it.
But do you know Republicans wouldn't do it until they were forced to do it? Brandon Gill was asked on the congressional corridor. I'm not asking you to speak. I'm telling you it's bad, right? That what they did, not condemning.
But do you realize you think it's also bad that everything we had to hear in 2022 with Biden getting elected was about how many black female candidate leadership team we're going to have?
Diversity is a good thing.
No, it's not.
Yes,
it's based on leadership.
And then what happened as soon as Trump came in and righted the ship? We got airplanes crashing all over the fucking place. We got tariffs all over the fucking world. We were tearing up trade deals. Iran is building fucking nukes. We had to bomb them, go to war with them fucking twice. We've got everything in Russia. Ukraine hasn't made any fucking progress. Israel's attacking 7 times as many countries as they were before. We're crafting deals with Qatar to build air bases in our country so Trump can fly a $500 million jet. Over here, we've got oil prices going. Like, damn, where are all of these unqualified retards under the Biden admin? Because I guess they were doing something right. Because what the fuck is happening over here? We've got measles outbreaks across the country. We're fucking pulling funding from our science education and our research at our colleges. Like,
when he was president, we're going to find a way to have this percentage. Let me finish. This percentage of pilots got to be female and black. And by the way, Hollywood. You want to go to Hollywood? What standards they created? Do you remember the Hollywood standards? In order to win an Oscar,
that's not true. That's
can you please pull that? Can you pull that up, please?
Elon Musk propaganda. This has been debunked a million times. A million times.
What time are we at right now?
I got a flight to catch soon.
That's what I'm saying.
But this is an important conversation because I need you to concede that 99.9% white refugees from South Africa is a racist refugee policy.
Zero. I got
not allowing people in from Afghanistan and Syria.
Next time you come in, don't book a flight afterwards so we can go 4 hours because I'm enjoying this.
Next time you're coming on my show, we all heard you agree to my invitation. I mean, I hereby invite Patrick Bet-David. You can bring Rob with him if you need support. Bring Rob with you.
So funny.
But we'll have you on.
We'll have a good time. Let me wrap it up with some one-word answers, and then let's go from there. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Since you already brought him up, I'll bring it up. So I'll give you a name.
Oh, Rob has just proved me right, by the way. 2 or 4 DEI standards. You don't have to. It's not something you have to tick some boxes.
What do you mean 2 or 4 DEI standards?
Pull up the standard.
Yeah, you have to have 2 or 4 DEI. They even said you have to have a underrepresented racial ethnic groups an ensemble cast of at least 30% represent from 2 underrepresented. Some of them even disability.
First of all, diversity is a good thing, especially on screen.
Stop it.
I know you don't like that. And it's a bad word. D word is a bad word.
You know,
your people are like clutching their pearls.
You know why you're here? You know why you're here?
All the value viewers are clutching their pearls because Mehdi said diversity.
Do you know why I'm talking to you? Do you know why I'm talking to you?
Because you needed to hear from me that you wouldn't be allowed into America.
Do you know why?
Trump was president.
Do you know why I'm
you would have to
talking
come in illegally.
Mehdi, do your shtick. I'll let you finish, and then I'll say. Do you know why I'm talking to you? Why do you think I'm talking to you?
Please tell me.
Because you're the only leftist who will come on my show?
Good at what you do.
Okay.
That's why you're here.
I appreciate it.
Imagine if I said, hey, Rob, moving forward, listen, we need 3 disabled, 2 black, 4 gay, 5 this.
I know you need to tell your audience.
No, I'm not doing
that. In fact, the person who does that is Hegseth right now. He's literally blocking black women and women from becoming generals and admirals.
You are so obsessed with Trump just asking for a job, bro. Just go and say, can I be part of this freaking cabinet?
You wouldn't give it to
I'm
me 'cause I'm
almost
brown.
thinking, I'm almost thinking you are so obsessed. It's like, these girls that are so in love with somebody secretly. It's like they're infatuated.
I love that's the only argument you have.
Can I go? No, you lost this one, but it's okay.
No, I didn't, because technically you wouldn't be sitting here if Trump was president.
Mehdi,
You already agreed.
I'm going to sell your book like no one's ever sold
I
your
love
book.
it. You are
I'm
a great
going to tell him,
salesman.
go buy this book.
I want to say something nice about you. I'm
By the
going to say you're a great salesman. Go for it.
By the way, the biggest part about this thing is I am so proud that we converted another socialist into capitalist. That is probably
You
the
didn't do
proudest
that.
moment to
I did
somebody
that on
like
my own.
you did, and I give you credit. I'm so proud of you that you're
Out of the
publicly
business.
now a capitalist and you're creating jobs.
You can be a capitalist and a
Can
socialist.
we do the one-word answers, please? All right. Tommy Robinson,
Bigot.
Nigel Farage,
Bro.
Overrated.
Retard.
Sadiq
Oh.
Khan,
Underrated.
Ilhan Omar,
Patriot.
AOC.
Presidential.
Interesting. JD Vance,
Fraud.
Marco Rubio,
Little.
Little.
Trump. Little Marco.
Okay, I got you.
I want to
Newsom.
quote my man, Trump.
Yeah, respect. Newsom. Although Marco Rubio could be a president. by the
No,
way.
don't hate on Newsom. If the Israel Palestine thing just popped
Slick.
up. Okay.
Interesting. Musk,
Idiot.
True.
Bezos,
Spineless.
spineless.
Spineless. What's the
Yeah.
point of having fuck you money if you never say fuck you?
True.
Just rolled over for Trump.
You just want him to say
He doesn't like Trump. I prefer the people who love Trump.
True.
You know, I prefer the true believers.
'Cause they're honest.
These people who just hate Trump privately but roll over for him.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg too.
Spencer Pratt.
Yep.
Pratt.
Joe Rogan,
Enigma.
Enigma.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of him. Sometimes I'm like interesting. Sometimes I'm like, what an idiot.
Have you guys ever done anything?
No,
or
I've never done anything.
Well, you would do it though.
Would I go on Joe Rogan's show? There's a time when I said 100% yes. Now, maybe. I've come on PBD.
Yeah. Why
I want
did
to
you-
reach new audience.
Why did you say you wouldn't go? You said to Bassem you wouldn't go on a bunch of different podcasts.
Yeah, I didn't say I wouldn't.
Did it
I said I
change?
struggle. Like Fox. I don't go on Fox. Maybe I should change everything. I've tried to have a hygiene rule. I talk about it in the book. Maybe I've just abandoned
I
my
think you
hygiene
should
rules.
go everywhere. I think you should.
It's a
go
tricky
everywhere.
argument. There's pros and cons.
Do you know why?
There's pros and cons.
What's the con?
The cons are platforming people who don't deserve the legitimacy of mainstream platforms.
Okay,
It's a real.
so you're such a big deal. Like we shouldn't go to all these other places because.
So, like, if I go on Fox, I'm basically telling people that's a legitimate news organization. I believe it's a
my
legitimate news
God.
organization. It's a propaganda channel.
All right. Okay.
I don't want to be part of that.
Bibi,
Criminal.
Biden,
Criminal.
Hillary Clinton.
Criminal. No, I'm just kidding.
Annoying.
Okay.
I'll finish with that one. So we'll finish with Hillary Clinton. She got a lot of credit, folks. This was a good conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Go order his book. Win the art of debating every
That's a horrible
argument.
cover.
Win every argument.
I love that
Maybe-
cover, but it can be misread. Win every argument, the art of debating, persuading, and public speaking.
We'll put the link
I've
below.
even persuaded Patrick today that
Mehdi,
he needed to be an illegal
Truly,
immigrant to get into
I
Trump's America.
enjoy talking to you. I appreciate you
I
for coming out.
appreciate you having me on.
Time.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
brother. Yes. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye. When we set out to create a shoe that blends
I have a shoe. Kill me.
comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50
I was Biden a criminal because these guys that do foreign policy think that every past 20 U.S. presidents are all war criminals.
skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright
Oh
collection,
my God. Is that the tomato guy?
and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing
What is he here guiding the process? Telling them how to manufacture shoes?
the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless.
How much? Why don't we have a shoe yet? If you knew Joe Biden well, you'd know that if he actually got to the point where he wasn't capable of doing the job, he would step down. Former First Lady Jill Biden writes in her new memoir, View from the East Wing. Certainly, if he exhibited cognitive impairment, I would not hesitate to say so. His staff would not hesitate to say so, but he was nowhere near that point in the summer of 2024. All of that is very difficult to believe, if not just downright false. Holy fuck, I don't care. Am I supposed to...
Former First Lady Jill Biden is the queen of omission in her brand new memoir, A View from the East Wing. Judging from the contents of the book, the view was rather limited. She writes, for example, quote, if you knew Joe Biden well, you'd know that if he actually got to the point where he wasn't capable of doing the job, he would step down. Certainly if he exhibited cognitive impairment, I would not hesitate to say so. His staff would not hesitate to say so. But he was nowhere near that point in the summer of 2024. All of that is very hard to believe, if not downright false. In fact, after the election, Axios reporter Alex Thompson and I started doing interviews for a book, Original Sin. We tried to figure out what was going on behind the scenes that resulted in what we all saw, that debate in June 2024 when the president had trouble stringing sentences together and coming up with the right words. And it turned out, having spoken to more than 200 people who supported Joe Biden, that had been seen quite a bit before behind the scenes. So what she's saying about Biden being willing to give up power, or her willing to call it out, or his aides' willingness to call it out, I don't think that's true. But interestingly, she also says he was nowhere near that point in the summer of 2024. Why so specific? Why in the summer of 2024? Why not now? Why not anytime during his presidency? It seems very curious. Throughout the book, she avoids taking on head-on what happened to him during his presidency. For example, she centers her discussion about his age and fitness on his decision to run in 2020. She writes, quote, to me, Joe was definitely aging, but he was not exhibiting signs of dementia or senility. Joe was the same man I'd always known. Why is she talking about 2019 and 2020 when discussing his fitness? She then yada, yada, yadas through his presidency and what happened then, which is the real issue, and says, quote, even if he had slowed down in the years before his election bid, I believe in my heart he was still good enough and wise enough and capable enough to govern. Capable enough? Is that the standard now? Capable enough? She writes, quote, given what time Joe's apparent guarantee he would do, the choice seemed clear. But that wasn't the question. It wasn't Trump versus Biden as a choice. It was Trump versus which Democrat would be strongest.
Imagine if we had mainstream media Democrats that were willing to do this level of work into like the fucking Russia shit, or into all of the fucking COVID lies, or into all of the weird shit going on well, I guess for the Trump stuff, I don't even know how much more you can report on it. For this term they're doing it, I guess they're doing enough, maybe. Tapper's obsessed.
To take on Trump.
He's stalking. This guy is stalking Biden. He's stalking Biden.
Did you see this? Candace Owens next week is visiting Russia. She's going to Russia with her family for a week. And apparently there's other influencers going. I've seen there's other people attending some kind of summit, I heard, with maybe Alexander Dugin and this Russian oligarch. Who called it? Who called it first? They said I was crazy. They looked at me like I was crazy.
This is absolutely not Candace's first trip to and from Russia. I know that 100%. Don't know how many times she's been there, but I know that it's absolutely not her first time.
Who called it a year ago?
More than once?
I know that she's been there at least once, 100%.
I remember last year, I went on Bradley Martin in like July, and we were talking about Candace. He brought it up, and I said, listen, I said, this is just speculation. I said, total shot in the dark. I have no evidence. I said, this is just a theory, okay? I said, however, you see Candace Owens is gunning really hard for Brigitte Macron, wife of the president of France. I said, and that just seems strange to me. It seems random. Why, out of all the people and all the stories and all the transsexuals in the world, why is she going after Brigitte Macron, Emmanuel Macron's wife? I said, well, this is not new, because there has been a contingent on the right wing that has been gunning for Emmanuel Macron since he got elected the first time in 2017.
I know Fuentes believes what he speaks about, but genuinely, why doesn't he jump on the Russia train or be influenced by foreigners? Unfortunately, it's for the really stupid shit that I said before, where people were like, would you rather have a fascist party or a communist party? And it's like, it sounds cringe, but like, I don't know, like, at least I know fascists, you know, even if they have a distorted view of what America is, I think they love the country and they want the country to be great. I think communists are invested in the destruction of America, unironically. So I don't think Nick would ever be paid off by, or controlled by a foreign operative. I would hope not, because I just don't think ideologically that's where he would line up. So I would never, I don't know if he would ever jump on those types of trains. Now, he might have the same types of misinfo or lies that he might push. I don't know what he said about fucking Ukraine or whatever. It wouldn't surprise me, because he doesn't like the idea of us like working with Ukraine or being over there. But I don't think he would like be on a Russian payroll the same way that somebody like Hasan 100% would.
17, going all the way back to Charles Johnson on Researcher. I said, so who is France's number one enemy? It's Russia. France and Russia are in effectively a war in North Africa and Ukraine. Macron is one of the biggest Ukraine hawks in Europe. And a big part of that is because Russia is backing many military junta governments, military coups in the Sahel region in West Africa against the French sphere of influence from their former colonial holdings. And this is affecting France. Here's an example. France runs on nuclear.
Wait, how do you square that with Tenet Media? Fuentes wasn't part of Tenet, no? What do you mean?
Energy. They need uranium for their power plants. Where do they get it? They get it from Niger. They get it from Niger in West Africa, where the Wagner Group, private military corporation, which is in bed with the Russian military, overthrew that French-aligned government and kicked all the French military bases out of the country. And so you say, why is Candace Owens gunning so hard for France? Maybe there's some kind of Russian influence, because at that level, it does become geopolitical. She's one of the biggest podcasters in America, one of the biggest YouTubers. And so if she is creating this huge problem for Macron, you know,
Fuentes was one of the few Tenet believers on the dissident right. Like he believed in their mission, or what do you mean?
Wonder if there's some other angle there. And like I said, this is pure speculation. I said this a year ago. Nobody really believed me. Nobody acknowledged that. Well, here we are. She's going to Russia for a week with her family. And she goes, well, it's because we're Christian. It's because we're Christian and we want to go to Russia because of their Christian legacy. I want to say, why are you going to Russia? You don't want to go to Constantinople. You don't want to go to Rome. You don't want to go to, I don't know, anywhere else.
I assume as in Tim Pool is a fascist, but still took the money. Tim Pool, to me, it's so hard to know, but like Tim Pool to me doesn't come off as a fascist or like strongly ideologically driven. He comes off to me as just kind of like a scumbag loser fuck. Like I feel like if it came time for there to be like a fucking civil war or some shit of the United States, I think there's a world where somebody like Nick Fuentes would fight on the losing side, knowing that he would lose because his convictions were strong enough. Tim Pool is like the Lannisters. He's never, ever, 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 ever going to be on the losing side of anything. He'll just go to wherever the money is. That's how I view somebody like that.
Russia for their Christian tradition. That's really interesting. Out of all the places you could go, especially when you're Candace Owens, and you are getting sued for probably billions of dollars by Turning Point and by Brigitte Macron, out of all the places you go to Russia, really interesting. I would never go to Russia just because of how it would look. Would I like to go there? Yeah, I think it would be interesting. Even at my level, which I'm on a tier below Candace.
It's so fucking retarded that he even has to say this because it's just such an obviously true thing, right? It's not even necessarily about whether you're doing anything bad. It's like, what would it look like? What would it look like for you to go to Russia and whatever, with everybody saying whatever they do, unless you were like streaming literally 24/7. Like it's such an obvious thing that you should be aware of, you know?
It would be interesting, even at my level, which I'm on a tier below Candace. She's on YouTube, Spotify, she's huge. I would never go to Russia or Iran or China for that matter, just because of how it would look.
Holy fuck. How long until the current fucking football shit is over? Are they playing for the rest of the day or?
No, it's like probably like 10, 20 more minutes. I'm not watching, so.
Okay.
You just want me to nuke
I would
them?
be too
No, because people always find a way to fucking say retarded
concerned about what Homeland Security would think about that, what the
endure.
public, the DOJ would think about that,
Okay.
the State Department. If I'm a target, if I'm being called out by the Trump administration, if I'm a dissident, if I'm an enemy of the Jewish mafia, I'm not going to Russia. I'm not going to Iran. I'm not going to Syria. I'm not giving them a reason, in other words, to think I'm in danger. Think about, here's a perfect example. How about Hasan Piker? Hasan Piker is getting screwed by the DOJ, by the Treasury Department because he visited Cuba, because he has contacts in Cuba. So the same week that the DOJ announces they've subpoenaed Hasan Piker, she's going to go to Russia next week? You think that's a good idea?
Have you ever met anyone who actually listens to Candace Owens' podcast? I have lost friends to the Candace Owens podcast, so yes. I don't know how popular she is in other spaces, but yes, unfortunately.
Who's paying for the travel? Who's paying for the hotel? Does that violate any sanctions? I would be, as someone who cares deeply for Candace, as someone who's really looking out for her, I don't think that's such a great idea. But then again, why would she go? Maybe she needs to go. And this is something I'm going to tell you before we get into our big news for the night. We used to talk a lot more about this last year, but this is something you need to understand. I'm not saying I know for a fact that Candace is in on something or anything like that. I'm just saying this is generally true. All of these big influencers, you have to suspect that they are involved with foreign governments in some capacity. You just have to, because frequently they are.
God, I don't know how true this is. 2 years ago, I would have said this is so fucking retarded to think, but now I really don't know. It's so crazy, bro. I hate this timeline right now.
And it's weird. Now, Israel is the big one, and that goes without saying. How many of these people are kissing the wall, taking the trip?
Fuck. But this is it's Russia.
says this.
It's Russia, Qatar, maybe China. I don't know where. The problem is that, and you don't even need, you can still be anti-Semitic and still understand this. If you are old in America, you have reasons why you might like Israel. Again, their story's inspiring back in the day. If you are a Jew in America, then you have reasons to like Israel, obviously. You're fucking Jewish, right? If you are a Christian Zionist in America, which I think most evangelicals are, you have reasons to like Israel. Israel doesn't have to do really anything there to be subversive. Since 73, Israel and America are like very strong natural allies. That doesn't take a whole bunch of inorganic massaging. It can be explained very easily. Now, that's not to say... Like, is it possible that there are some Israeli paid propaganda people in the United States? I mean, I'm not going to say that's impossible. I'm sure there could be, but the evidence is so much heavier right now related to the fucking Russia slop, the fucking China slop, the fucking whatever Qatar has injected so many different people into our educational institutions.
Now, Israel is the big one, and that goes without saying. How many of these people are kissing the wall, taking the trip? They come back wearing an IDF hat. They're taking the $7,000. Like, that goes without saying that Israel...
I don't think this $7,000 thing... Is there any proof of this ever happening ever? I don't know if this has ever been the case ever, if there's anything...
...has this immense influence in the United States. But Israel is truly not the only one. Why is Tucker Carlson in Saudi Arabia and Qatar all the time? Can anyone tell me why?
True.
It's so random. It just, you have this brand that, I'm out here in my cabin.
The fact that we don't talk about Russia anymore at all, because libs got fucked on it. Libs got their brains blasted on the Russia stuff, and conservatives will never talk about it because they know it makes their side look bad. So it's literally impossible to ever have conversations about Russia.
Just like hunting and fishing, and I just love America so much. Okay, so why do you spend all this time in Riyadh? Why do you spend all this time in Qatar? Why did you buy a house there? It's just weird. And the same goes for Candace Owens going to Russia. Why are you spending a week in Russia? Clearly something is going on there. Dan Kazarian, Jew Kazarian, aka Jew goes to the UAE and Qatar trying to get a golden visa. He goes to Corsica, he goes to Romania, and then he goes to Qatar and the Emirates, and he talks to their tourism minister, talks to the government there about obtaining a golden visa. And what you realize is that if you want to make the big bucks as an influencer, you need that foreign backing. If you want immense resources to play in this game, which is political influence in America, you got to go to some other country and get your money up. That is what they do. And frequently it is, it's Russia, it's Turkey, it's the Saudis, it's the Emiratis, it's the Qataris. Obviously it's Israel, it's India. They're all throwing money around. They're all throwing money. And they get around FARA, foreign agent registration, with all these convoluted ways. They'll give contributions in kind. They'll do it through very spurious means. We don't need to get into the details, but this is a huge thing. And, we used to talk a lot about this last year, but there is a heavy Russian element in the so-called dissident right.
But we can't talk about any of it because, one, the Trump admin literally won't even investigate it. And then, two, conservatives have mind-fucked all of us out of being able to even have a conversation about it.
Always been there. And I will say there is a Qatari element as well. I know that the Israelis say that, but it is true.
Yeah.
The Qataris opened up a brand new embassy last year. They are trying to get involved. They are paying people. And that's not downplaying. Israel does so much more. Israel does 10 times that, and it's so much more sophisticated. The Qataris are very sloppy, and they're just not as effective. The Israelis have got it down to a science. I'm just saying.
Where do we see that at, though? Because I feel like, where the fuck has Israel been for their propaganda in the U.S.? And why the fuck don't any of them come to me for money? Just kidding. Not that I would ever accept it, but...
You got to be on the lookout that there is a lot of foreign money.
At least.
The entire influencer space is awash in foreign cash. It's unbelievable. And so you see something like that. You see Tucker going to the Emirates and Saudi and Qatar. You see Candace going to Russia, and you say, what is going on? Candace is married to a British guy, and she's going to Russia. Tucker's going over to Qatar. Candace's number one backer is this guy named John Mappin. He's also British. His wife is from Kazakhstan. The wife is Kazakh. Very interesting, isn't it? And it goes around and around like this. I mean, there's some serious foreign influence networks going on in the influencer space, even, yes, including on the dissident right. And I think that's could be a reason why a lot of them don't like me. Could be part of it. Because I'm one of the only people that is not doing that sort of thing. I am not going to the Gulf. I'm not going to Russia. I am not going to any of these places. I am not involved in that. But anyway, I do want to move on. I want to get into our news for the night. So a couple of different things, right? Ian Carroll, he's out. Candace Owens, she's going to Russia. Very interesting. She's at war with Brigitte Macron. Now she's in Russia. They said I was crazy. The way that she deflected that, she goes, oh, he says I'm some kind of Russian agent. That's totally insane. Now we're taking the whole family to Russia. It's like you couldn't make it to Phoenix to talk to Erica Kirk, but now you're going to Russia for a week? Interesting. Super interesting. It's all that arbitrage. They need that state backing as American dissidents. And look, like, on some level, like, whatever, if they're pushing Israel criticism or something like that, something to be said for that. Something to be said for the fact that you got to fight fire with fire if the Israelis are juiced up. Maybe it could be said that on the other side, people need to replace the Israeli money with a different benefactor. I think the answer is America first. I think you got to get all that money out of there. There needs to be a serious crackdown on everybody, on the right, on the left. This Chinese billionaire that's funding the left, these trips to Cuba, Venezuela, Burkina Faso, and Yemen, and on the right as well, the trips to Israel, the trips to Russia, Serbia, the Emirates, Saudi, that's got to stop too. So I want to move on, though. We're going to get into our news. Our big featured story is all about the war in Iraq.
Fuentes crashes out on Super Chatter again. Why are you leaving me these Fuentes clips?
Heart with ribbon emoji. I saw a clip from Ye 24 days. Ye was equating capitalism with Jewish economics, both contrasted with patriotism. What are your thoughts?
Thank you for the huge super chat. I appreciate it on that. I mean, I don't know, man. You guys are just kind of hurting me with this. Capitalism is Jewish economics. Thoughts? Thoughts on? You've said nothing, you fucking idiot. Like, I'm sorry. I appreciate the big super chat. Thank you for all the support, but it's...
This is our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Hegseth was seen sporting a t-shirt with the words, "This is war." Docked in Singapore.
Porn that he's disseminated, right? To a minor, it turns out. And what did his audience do? They immediately hyper-fixated on anything that they could grab onto to claim I was doing something similar. They couldn't really...
Literally nobody was talking to you, but okay. Esports Batman is begging Jessica to cover the court filings tonight, but Jessica said, no, they're boring. Why do you think Esports Batman is so eager for him to cover the filings? I don't know. Like me, the messages I could try to interpret.
Really fine one, so they invented it. What did they say? Oh, well, here's this, Vogue article or Variety article or whatever where Hasan receives unsolicited nudes in front of a journalist. Okay, don't you think that's the same as distributing revenge porn? No, it's not. Obviously, it's not. What the fuck are you
Well, except he did solicit them. He was asking his stream constantly to add him to Snapchat to send him nudes, but okay.
talking about? The problem for them is that most adults can make that distinction. Most adults can understand the difference between those two things. Yeah, even the fucking brothel thing. For years and years, Destiny knowingly has talked about how I went to a brothel, right? It's something that
That he loved it. It was like an extravagant experience. He's got like a little frat boy misogyny. Nobody on the left fully acknowledge it, but he absolutely is. He's at least a tinge of it, if not more. But
I've talked about personally. Like it went viral. People were really mad. I was talking about sex work in general and how I have no issues with it, whatever.
no, every time you brought it up, now it looks a bad look that you're larger, you don't like to talk about it. But before, it was like a cool, awesome thing. Pretty sure every time I brought it up, the one time I tried this, I was like, I don't know, I didn't really like this. I thought it was kind of gross and weird.
Right? And for years and years, Destiny knew knowingly, he knew that the brothel
Knew knowingly.
that I went to in 2010, that is still around, by the way, still in operations, called Artemis in Berlin. It got raided in 2016. And the prosecutors claimed it was raided for sex trafficking and also for tax evasion. Turns out that wasn't the case at all. Turns out neither of the
Do you think Jessica and Pals believe their stories, or do you think it's all a performance? 1 trillion% it is a performance. It's all planned. For those guys, 100%.
those two things were happening at the brothel, as a matter of fact. And the brothel actually sued the state, the police force, and the city, and won. The brothel won a defamation case. Okay? Destiny knows all of that, and yet he still consistently lies about this. Why does he do that? Because he was in trouble for being a fucking sex pest. Over and over again, he constantly gets into trouble because he has no self-control whatsoever. He's an unbelievably narcissistic person.
Yes.
And the only defense mechanism he has is to project. Because he's worried that if his audience hold him to account, then he's not going to be able to defend himself.
This is a video ripped right from Kiwi Farms, by the way. They like to tag all their stuff like this, so it's literally a Kiwi Farms video that's posted on one of his Twitter accounts that now he's showing a stream, but okay, cool.
So he dangles the red meat. He goes, well, what about Hasan? Turns out this motherfucker literally did go to a illegal brothel where women were sex trafficked.
Literally did. Yeah, I've talked about it on stream. I like how they always pretend, oh, this has the language. Newly resurfaced footage reveals that streamer... Is this not like on my YouTube channel?
You ever paid for a prostitute before in a legal state?
I don't know if it's legal. I actually did one time, very recently here, because I was curious. In one of those massage places or whatever. And I was like, I'm curious what this is like, fuck it.
Was it just like a sad hand job? Or?
Yes, for like, and I like tipped really well too, because I was like, oh, I got a lot of money. These girls saying they don't make much. Maybe it'll be extra. It was horrible.
Was it from like an older woman or?
She was probably like in her 30s or 40s.
You could have picked a better place, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to spend a lot of time doing it because I'm not going to get caught like doing anything illegal. I just wanted to experience it one time. Like the scenario is actually kind of sad to me. Like, I don't know. Like I have to pull out my phone and use like Google Translate so that this woman understands what I'm saying. It feels like she's like some fucking sex slave trafficked in, and it's like this is kind of awkward. And I don't feel good about this.
Have you ever had
maybe
an
you'll
escort?
be really good at least at giving hand jobs. It's like nope, yeah.
Where was she from? What nationality was she?
Chinese.
Oh,
but yeah.
Interesting.
This is my experience doing this one time. This is how Hasan talks about it when he went.
Might be an intrusive question, but have you ever had an escort? No shame, obviously sex work is real work. I've had sex with not even escorts, but also like straight. I've gone to a brothel, Artemis in Berlin, and had sex with the workers there. Yes. I don't hide it. I don't give a shit. Why would I?
And there are more and more and more and more clips of him talking about this. Like, I don't know how this is supposed to be some fucking epic own against me. Like, but I guess.
So like, it's always projection. It's always fucking projection. So
I don't really know if it was an illegal placement. I don't know how I could possibly know that. It just felt like very fucking weird to me. But then again, I'm not like a fucking prostitute professional. Like Mr. Hasan dates porn stars and brags about fucking brothel workers in Europe. I don't know. Maybe he has more knowledge than I do.
what do? I guess you just keep going. But that's what's going on here as well. A similar vendetta is taking shape here as well, where it's like, why haven't you been banned like I have for years from all of these platforms? Why have you not been... why didn't you have to suck Destiny's dick like I did? Say this is Nick Fuentes to reach back out and to regain a platform.
And National Socialists. There were neo-Confederates and white identitarians. There were paleocons. There were people that were there because they were concerned about the Robert E. Lee Monument. You know what happened to those people? Those people were doxxed. They were harassed at their homes. Their families were harassed.
Dog, you did a fucking neo-Nazi rally in Charlottesville. Of course people are going to fucking hate that. Like, you're just, at a certain point.
Wait, was Fuentes at the Charlottesville stuff? I don't remember. I thought he was one of the people, maybe he was too young at that point. Maybe I'm thinking of other people, that said that it was like super fucking cringe. Yeah, he was there. Where was the poster for Charlottesville? I'm trying to remember who the big names were. He was 19. Maybe he was too young to be a big name at that point. I feel like the poster, I don't remember if his name was on it, but it might have been. Maybe I don't remember. Unsolicited nudes.
Not good. Okay, all of these are dudes now. I used to exclusively get fucking like titty pics and shit on my Snapchat, and now it's just dudes. This is terrible. What happened? I ruined it. I should have never mentioned my Snapchat.
Dude,
like, even that's a call for more people to send him tits, right? Like, and he's done this over and over and over and over again, but whatever. Damn. When did the Gregory thing first start? Damn, he wasn't on any of these. Rip.
At a certain point, you have to fucking come to terms with the reality that, yeah, people don't fuck with Nazis, and that same kind of enmity doesn't exist towards socialists. And it's not because like there hasn't been a lot of government intervention in the direction of disrupting socialist organizing. There has been. I would go so far as to say far more consequential disruptions in social.
You think Connor is freaking out today because his stream was down like 50 concurrents and one of his major Oilers bailed on him? Can't think of who else he would lose a bunch of. I don't know. Connor's doing Connor things. Which Oiler was it? Hopefully it wasn't his top one, because that person also maybe communicates quite frequently with the person that Connor has a huge issue with, which would be pretty awkward for him. But yeah.
Socialist organizing than fascist organizing in this country. Okay, there were times, and maybe even to this day, there are instances where fascist groups were deployed deliberately by design, by the state, or the state turned a blind eye to fascist organizing. Look at the Klan, right? Maybe it's too vulgar for you, that form of fascist organizing.
Wow.
But I guess it's more American and more real and perhaps even more successful than what you're trying to do.
I've been away from every aspect of the internet for the last few weeks, actively grieving my best friend of 15 years. What, did they die? To come back online to see parasitic bad faith clip accounts hate farming me / creating active hate thread discussions over innocent clips / content is disgusting. I'm over it. I'm tired of the cesspool these accounts create. The flagrant intent to farm inconspicuous content into a forum of loathing isn't a network I want to be a part of against my will. Moving forward, I will be DMCing any disingenuous or malicious use of my content. This is not something I have ever done, but it is something that I am setting my boundary on. Call me bitch or pathetic or whatever. What is she even referring to here? Somebody was clipping her? The funny thing is this is kind of like the Trump situation, where all of like or a lot of the weird snark lefty shit could go away immediately if Hasan were to just say like, hey, I don't support any of this. This is like ultra super cringe. I don't like this. Like, everybody who does this in my name should stop. Hasan will never do it though, ever, because he super benefits from it, and he knows he does. And when he directly coordinates with him, so.
Just dissenting against the government.
And if you pause this really quickly, right, we talk about some of the pettiest people on planet Earth, Gavin, the Young Turks, right? Oftentimes the Young Turks come across our desk and we say, damn, these are the pettiest, most self-involved, most fragile people on planet Earth. And even Anna Kasparian, during the brief contribution she made during the Young Turk segment about Hasan being probed over his trip to Cuba with an indictment from the Donald Trump administration, she was like, I don't like Hasan Hiker. I don't even like your nephew, but I would, of course, go on any channel, on any platform to defend him and to say that this is wrong, right? So if Destiny can't even clear the Anna Kasparian bar of morality, if he can't even find a way to be, not even less petty.
Because Anna is more on your side than I am. You guys are way more aligned with her. The playing stupid over politics is so cringe. But you never really have to like clearly spell out your political positions when you're too much of a fucking pussy to ever actually have a critical conversation about them. So keep hiding, you fucking losers.
But the same amount of petty as Anna Kasparian, who, yeah, she has to flippantly remind everybody that she doesn't have a good relationship with Hasan. She can't just be like, oh, well, yeah, this is horrible. I hope everything.
Hasan's vitriol towards me is not even remotely close to any perceived vitriol towards Anna, too. Stupid.
He's okay. She has to take a couple of jabs at him as Jank rolled his eyes and was like, hey, this is serious. I don't want my fucking nephew to go to prison because of this fascist leader of our country, right? But Destiny can't even manage that.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's completely pathetic. It's the most petty shit I've ever fucking seen. And Kyle's 100% to just go off on him in such a righteous fashion, just completely explode.
So righteous. Oh, so righteous. Oh, so righteous. Oh, so righteous. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.